ready for this?
Playoff implications are in the balance under the Friday night lights of Greenbrier Stadium at Yorktown High School. Hello again, everyone. I'm Afshin Banab. Alongside me, Peter Farnsworth, as usual. And Peter, we have playoff implications in the balance. Washington Lee at Greenbrier Stadium to play the Patriots. And of course, as you might or might not can tell, we are in the dark right now. Many of the buildings around the area are without lights, but we can go. The lights are still on at the field. There's no problem. Everyone can see everything, hopefully. Pete, let's talk about the situation here tonight. Yorktown coming in this game after a bitter loss to Annandale, 55-7. Washington Lee, however, coming into this game after a close victory over Jeb Stewart at War Memorial last week. What do you think Washington Lee has to do? Last week, all they did was run, and it seemed to work at the time. What more do they need to do? As you pointed out to me earlier, Yorktown has more of a diversified attack.
That's right. With Pat Teppenbrock at quarterback, I think they're going to have a good chance to utilize many different aspects of the offense. You have on the Washington Lee side of the ball, you have Sam Zanders being the real potent offensive stalwart, and as he goes, so do the Generals. As far as the Patriots go, I think they're a little bit more, as I said, a little more diversified and can use a lot of different weapons. Teppenbrock in the air and Clint Crenshaw on the ground. So it's been much different teams and also much different experiences last week for both teams. Stewart was a very tough ball game for Washington Lee, and Yorktown was just blown out. So we'll see how both teams rebound from that.
All right. Right
I think
now
we're
we have
going
our
to the national anthem. Rivalry, this would be it. And playoff implications, as you said, stand in the balance, the outcome of this game. So you can analyze the game as much as you want, talk about the running game and the passing game of Yorktown as opposed to the rushing game of Washington Lee. But I think it may just come down to heart and pride to a certain degree, because you just have just better rivalries. A lot of these players know each other from playing in the summer, basketball, or whatever different sports, and I think it may just come down to a question of who wants it more.
No doubt about it, Pete. Heart and desire play a very big part of a football rivalry such as this. I want to get back to what you said earlier about Sam Zanders. Should Zanders be held tonight, do you see Washington Lee going to the air successfully with their changing of the quarterbacks?
I'm really not sure. They switch so often between Teddy Key and Andy Crench.
Andrew Craver, yeah.
Andrew Craver. I don't even know the names clearly all the time. They switch so often. Sometimes it's difficult to pick up on who's out there and, in fact, leading the troops. And I think that hurts to develop some consistency on the offensive side of the ball, whereas with Yorktown, you know that Pat Teppenbrock is leading the troops. He's done it all year, done it very successfully, and did it in the summer league, in the passing league that they had, did it there very successfully, and into all the way back to last year. So I think Yorktown really has an edge that way. Washington Lee, though, who knows? Sam Zanders could break one long, and there's really no way to tell that way. He could be held the whole game and all of a sudden just break it long. They give him the ball so frequently that there's a lot of opportunities for him throughout the evening.
All right, Pete, we're set for the kickoff. Yorktown, I'm not sure. I didn't really look on the field. I think they did win the kickoff. Folks, it's this simple. If Yorktown wins tonight, Annandale must beat Fairfax, and Robert E. Lee must defeat West Potomac for the Patriots to make it. However, for Washington Lee, destiny is in their own hands. They win, they're in. It's that simple. So look for a doozy tonight. Lights are still out. Scoreboard is not operating, so bear with us. As long as the field lights are on, we'll be okay. Nice crowd on hand tonight.
It's actually senior night tonight at Yorktown at Greenbrier Stadium. At the beginning of the game, the seniors trotted out and their parents came onto the field, presented the young athlete with his helmet, and so that was kind of a special occasion. Nice chance for the parents to be associated very directly in a hands-on way with the football, and I think that the players and the parents will remember that for a long time.
And Pete, as usual, I make a mistake at the beginning of the game. Washington Lee won the toss. They are going to receive the ball. Chad Sweezy and Sam Zanders deep to receive. And Sweezy will take it from inside about the 5-yard line, goes to the far side, and he's tumbled at about the 20-yard line. So the Generals will take over at about from their own 20, 1st and 10. We don't know how much time we have no clock at all. So, like I said, bear with us. We'll just be we'll pay attention to the officials. Tonight, Bob McNeil, he's the referee. D. Gitman, the umpire. Bob Spanar, the linesman. L.P. Ryan, the line judge. Lansing Hewitt is the back judge. And they start off with Teddy Key, do the Generals. Zanders and Barquero are the setbacks. Zanders the deep back. And the give to Zanders, far side. One tackle, and he's down. Hole was plugged up was plugged quickly there. Pete, gain of about 3 yards. Let's bring up 2nd and 7.
As I said, both teams had much different experiences last week. I think Yorktown just has to rebound from a real thrashing at the hands of Annandale. So we'll see if they come in with some bumps and bruises, some bruised pride maybe. Whereas Washington Lee had a tough nail-biter against Stewart, where they almost lost actually at the end of the game with a 2-point conversion. Stewart ended up failing, but they come in with a tough game, so we'll see what happens.
The pitch back to Zanders, gets a nice block from Barquero. Not much happening on that play. Good pursuit by the Yorktown Patriots.
One thing we noticed with Zanders last week was that he carries the ball very carefully at the beginning of the game, and toward the end sometimes he gets a little sloppy with it. And so we'll have to watch for that this evening, and I'm sure the Yorktown defensive backs and defensive line will watch for that as well and make sure that he holds on to the ball or else.
Jim Turp on the tackle there. Exactly. Last week we saw Zanders fumble and recover his own fumble there where had Stewart recovered, they would have gone on to possibly win the game. They still had a chance to win even after that. This will be a 3rd and about 4. Nothing doing on that give. Zanders stopped. On the tackle is Sean Edwards.
That was a tough stick by Edwards. Met him right at the line. Zanders was going nowhere. Edwards is a very, very big kid on the defensive line. You see Zanders has already come off the field,
shaking
his
head.
His helmet off.
Punt formation are the Generals. Deep to receive. Alex Evelyn, along with David Frazier. Evelyn will take it from his own 35. Going far side, nothing doing. Chad Sweezy on the stop. So the Patriots will start from about their own 43-yard line, 1st and 10, and we'll see Deppenbrock for the first time tonight.
Seems like not that long ago that we watched Pat Deppenbrock and the Yorktown Patriots struggle in their first 2 plays and then watch Scott Fletcher cut across the middle of the field, find his zone, and go in for a touchdown. Pat Deppenbrock threw him a crisp pass about 15 yards. That was the first game of the season, so I look forward to watching Deppenbrock and Fletcher play catch again tonight.
Deppenbrock looking over the defense. There's the give to Crenshaw. It's a little bit, gets about 3 yards on that. Hard to find a hole there. Swing up 2nd and 7.
Clint Crenshaw has really been a story for Yorktown this year. Sean Edwards, who was a transfer, who moved here with his family from Texas, 6'4", 235 running back. We thought that he may be the main man on offense for Yorktown this year in the running back position, but Clint Crenshaw has come on and taken that role over for him.
And he's done a fine job. There's the fake Deppenbrock rolling out. He's going to run it. He's got the first down. Deppenbrock looks like he's got the first down. I'm going to call it.
The thing that's nice about Deppenbrock is he's 6'2", 180. You often have quarterbacks, and we saw last week on Stewart, we saw a quarterback 5'8", 150 pounds.
De La Cruz.
Was De La Cruz, and Deppenbrock has a nice size to see over the line, recognize when he can run, when he can pass, and that time he chose to tuck it away on pass, and does a good job of that. He's a pretty good scrambler.
1st and 10 for the Patriots. At the General 45. And it's Crenshaw, near side, cuts back in. Still on his feet. Down at about the 32-yard line of the Generals.
That time,
enough for the first down, Pete.
That was a little bit more poor tackling on the Washington Lee side of the ball than it was deft running by Clint Crenshaw. Crenshaw got the job done, but you don't see that he's as talented a runner, it seems like, as Xander. Xander has that quick speed, especially that he gets to his top speed so quickly. Crenshaw, it seems like he's able to find the holes and do a good job. At that time, I think it was just poor blocking by Washington Lee.
Deppenbrock on 1st and 10. There's the give to Matt Deach, who finds a big hole. Deach takes it to about the 20-yard line. The defense of Washington Lee at that time keyed on Crenshaw, and Deach was just open. Found a huge hole up the middle, Pete. So this will bring up a 1st and 10 situation at the Washington Lee 20 for the Yorktown Patriots, threatening here in the first quarter. Like I said, scoreboard is out. We are not sure exactly how much time remains in the first quarter. Washington Lee took about three or four plays, and then they had to punt. Patriots, their first series, doing a pretty good job. Deach is in the backfield with Crenshaw. Deppenbrock looking things over once again. There's the give to Crenshaw, far side, being pursued, still on his feet. No one there, still on his feet, and he's taken out of bounds.
Again, 2 men had a chance at him, but he just eluded them, so if that happens all night, he'll be proving me wrong, because he can't be poor tackling all night. Maybe he just has something about him. He's a slippery runner. But I like the way that Bruce Hanson does a good job of alternating between the backs. He's got Deach going up the middle. He sets up that run, makes the defense be aware of his presence there, going right up the middle. Then they can slant Crenshaw around right or left, and then you have Deppenbrock also you have to be careful about, because he can tuck it away and run right or left, or go to the air.
As we have already seen Deppenbrock tuck it away and run. 1st and goal for the Patriots. In motion was Crenshaw. The give to Deach, and he's in for the touchdown. Matt Deach, a 3-yard touchdown run. Puts the Patriots up 6-0.
Just as easy as that, Afshin. 6-0 already, and you see Sam Zanders all the way at the other end of the Washington Lee bench. He knows that he has his work cut out for him this evening, because as goes Zanders, so do the Generals. And you see already 6-0. Pat Deppenbrock threw his hands in the air, exalted at that, and it's going to be a long evening if Deppenbrock has his way running the offense for Yorktown tonight.
The extra point. Snap wasn't very good. The hold is good, but the kick was no good. Jamie Dernhill missed the kick, the extra point. So it's 6-0 Yorktown, as they have taken the ball and marched 57 yards, their first series, all running plays. With Deach, as you said, Pete, going up the middle on a couple of plays, and Crenshaw going to the far side and near side, going wide on all of his runs.
At some point, we want to get into the fact that this game actually was rescheduled this game was supposed to be played earlier in the week, and maybe you can give us a history of that, Afshin, because that may make for a little bit of bitter feelings between the two teams.
Wednesday night, the game, as you said, was scheduled for Wednesday night, 2 nights ago. And actually, it was sent to arbitration. And Yorktown won because Yorktown had to reschedule one game against Wakefield because due to the weather. And had they played on Wednesday, they would have played 3 games in I think 9 days. As we see the kickoff, Sanders and Sweezy back. Sweezy will take it again inside the 10, and he's going to come out with it. Tripped up, wait, there's a fumble on the play. Yorktown balls. Sweezy fumbled, Yorktown picked it up.
Difficult to make it out from up here in the booth with the field being so dark, Afshin, but it looked like Sweeney, someone just grabbed the ball as they were gang tackling him and knocked the ball loose. It's tough to tell who did it, but Sweezy left the ball behind, and Yorktown scooped it up, and now they stand, I guess, just about at the 23, 24-yard line, poised for another score. Sam Sanders again has his helmet off in disgust, shakes his head. He's by himself now on his own bench, just sitting by himself, and he's got to be a frustrated young man. There he is. Great work by the cameraman. Just as I said it, they go to him, but how frustrated is he that they had that one series in and out, and he can't even get the ball. He can't be asked to do things when he can't get the ball. But just a real turn of events for Yorktown, 6-0 after having the extra point block, and then recovering the fumble, and now poised to strike again behind Deppenbrock.
We are still in the first quarter. Pete, as I was saying, Yorktown had taken it to arbitration and won, really. They found in favor of Yorktown due to a possibly fatigue factor, you know, maybe a potential lawsuit from someone should there be a serious injury on the field. You know, this would have been 4 games in like 12 days. So it works out well for everyone, though. There's a big crowd. The crowd did show up tonight, so it's okay. We're at 1st and 10 right now from the Washington lead 24. Deppenbrock with the fake. The pass. Caught it by Ken Handy. Touchdown, Yorktown.
That's what I'm talking about, where Deppenbrock can see over the line. He's 6'2" with a tight spiral, puts it right in his hands, and that was. We'll go to a replay, but that was a tremendous catch as well.
And Pete, it's my favorite play. I love watching this play on the football field. It's the timing pattern. And there you see it, the fake to Crenshaw, and the toss to Ken Handy, and it was a nice toss, as you said. And he has that height, and he really can see the field. He sees where all his receivers are. He sees where that defense is. He doesn't have anyone in his blocking his way.
You notice, Eric, that Ken Handy caught that ball with his hands. He had his hands way extended out above his head rather than trying to catch the ball off his chest as some players do. And they'll go for 2 points here.
They're looking to do damage.
Chewing your ear off here in the booth, but they go for 2 points. And 3 flags are thrown as he does connect for a 2-point conversion, but we'll see if that may be taken away from the Yorktown Patriots. We'll try to get the call from down on the field.
There is a delay of game call.
See if we can go to a replay on that. Get a little clearer understanding of what's going on.
There's the replay. We did see someone on the line move a little bit, but didn't seem like any one was drawn offsides. In any case, 5 yards will be marked. It is right now 12-0 Yorktown. Still in the first quarter. Not quite sure how much time is left. Power is out. And they will go for the extra point. Jamie Durnhill to kick the extra point. Deppenbrock to hold. Good snap. Decent hold. Kick is up, and it's going to be short. So Washington Lee gets a break there, as a 2-point conversion was nullified due to a penalty, and then the extra point was short. Brings us to 12-0.
I'm wondering what you tell your team if you're Joe Musket, Washington Lee coach, walking up and down the sidelines trying to get his team fired up. But I don't know exactly what you say to your team. Already 12-0. They're playing at Yorktown, as we've mentioned, Greenbrier Stadium, and just like that in the first quarter, they're down 12-0 to the Patriots. We expect this to be a very close game, although we said at the outset of the telecast that Sam Zanders is a real force for Washington Lee. They have a running attack. They switch on and off between two quarterbacks. Yorktown has a much more diversified attack, and we felt, at least I felt, that if Washington Lee got down early, it might be a long night for them.
The one thing you tell these players is it's still early days. A lot of time left in this game. It's only 2 touchdowns, 2 plays, you tie it up. Interesting enough here, Pete, Chad Sweezy this time is at the far side. Sam Zanders is closer to us. See what the kicker does here. And it'll go to Sweezy. Sweezy will let it roll in the end zone, and then they'll take it out at the 20-yard line. Last time Washington Lee was in the playoffs, 1975. A couple of players on that team named Joe Musket and Eric Sievers, who went on to play tight end for the San Diego Chargers behind the great, actually he was a second-string tight end behind Kellen Winslow, behind the great Kellen Winslow. It's been 18 years for the Generals, so they're looking for something here. Washington Lee, 1st and 10 from their own 20. Andrew Craver's in at quarterback. Solander to the near side. And the give to Zanders. Nothing doing for Sam Zanders. Piled up right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a yard.
Sam Zanders gets up. He's a very frustrated young man. He has high expectations for himself. Usually he fills them. Tonight he's had a more difficult time. As you said, it's only the first quarter, so we don't want to say that there isn't a lot of time left. That is true. But so far he's having a difficult time getting started, breaking through the front line.
This is Washington Lee's second series, 2nd and 9 at the 21. Craver, the pitch to Zanders, far side. He's got some blockers in front of him. Gains about 6-7 yards on the play. Spring up 3rd and short. Sam Zanders' best run of the night. Pete, we have a replay. We see Zanders with a couple of blockers in front. Brought down short of the first down. This will be 3rd and 1 at the 29. The blitz is on. Not sure who the give was to there, but it is a first down nonetheless. First down, Washington Lee. Ball to the 30.
They moved the sticks for Washington Lee, but they have a long way to go down the field. It's going to be a long drive for Washington Lee.
Solander comes out. David Chu comes in. Andrew Craver stays in.
Scoring here would be a real key for Washington Lee in many ways. Not only would we get them on the board, which is the most obvious objective, but it would also, I think, settle the team a little bit. 2 quick scores for Yorktown. They certainly have Washington Lee on the ropes. It's only the first quarter, but Yorktown has really come out storming.
Here's the give to Zanders. Finds a little bit of room. Sanders gets about 5 yards on the play. Let's bring up a 2nd and 5.
Interesting, Afshin, that with both these teams, what we've seen as a team up in the booth is we've seen Washington Lee be fairly successful in the games that we've done together, and we've seen Yorktown be fairly successful. So I haven't seen what Sam Zanders is like when he's frustrated. I haven't seen Pat Teppenbrock when he throws a couple interceptions. So we'll have to watch for that, because that it's a real tremendous attribute, that the kid that can not only get it done, but they can bounce back from a little bit of failure throughout the night.
The give to Zanders. Almost, he does lose the ball. I think the whistle blew, though. Whistle blew. They call it dead. Pete, I don't know if you got a shot of that, but they practically took the ball out of his hands there. Fortunately for him, the whistle did blow. So this will bring up a 3rd and short.
The fact that Yorktown didn't get that ball is almost, to an extent, meaningless with the idea that they planted the seed in Sam Zander's mind that he cannot be so careless with the ball. And if you could have seen the play continue, he got up, he was frustrated again. They're all over him tonight.
3rd and short in the first quarter. Actually 3rd and long, pardon me. Craver looking back. The toss to Barquero, he's got the first down. Still on his feet to midfield. Down at the Yorktown. Little Barquero with a nice catch and run.
Craver at the end of that threw his arms in the air. He's very excited. And well, he should be, because Washington Lee needs to be able to go to the air successfully this evening if they want to come home with a win.
Pete, you surprised that they haven't, that Musket hasn't switched quarterbacks yet?
It's somewhat difficult to figure out a pattern to that, the switching between quarterbacks, to be honest with you.
Craver dropping back again, going long for Sweezy. It's caught to the 10, 5, touchdown, Washington Lee.
That was a perfect timing pattern, so I'm talking about Pat Teppenbrock, on and on and on. And he just proved me wrong there. That pass just goes sky high in the air. It was almost like a punt. Came down perfectly in the arms of Sweezy. Watch this. Goes out of the picture.
Nice shot there.
Chad Sweezy was just waiting for that to come down. That almost brought rain, actually.
It was up there in the clouds, no question about it.
But that was great. That's what Washington Lee needed, obviously.
You've been saying it all night, Pete, and they finally got it. 12-6 right now the score. Solander to attempt the extra point. Snap is really high. Kick is up, and it is good.
Snap is really high, and the kick is really high. It went straight through the uprights, and Washington Lee's walking, all the players collectively walking with a little bit more spring in their step. A little bit more excitement on this side of the field for the blue and gray.
All right, Pete, Yorktown, what must they do to continue their surge?
Yorktown hasn't done anything wrong in my mind. I think Depp and Brock keep going to the air. You switch it up with Crenshaw and Deach. Yeah, I think they're doing a great job. I am a little concerned with when Sam Zanders finally breaks loose for Washington Lee. I don't know if Yorktown can contain him all evening. They've shown me a lot with their passing game already. I gotta be honest, I'm a little surprised with the passing attack. But if they can match Steffenbrock even slightly, then they're going to have a very good chance all evening to stick with Yorktown and perhaps come home with a win. As I said, and you know, we just don't know what it's like. We don't know how Sam Zanders bounces back from adversity. We don't know how Steffenbrock bounces back after throwing a couple interceptions. This is going to be a long evening. Already 12-7.
Still in the first quarter.
Still in the first quarter, so this could be a high-scoring affair this evening. And what a night for it, not to go on and on, but 70 degrees, beautiful evening here in Arlington. You got the rivalry, crosstown rivals. What more could you ask for from high school football? And we have it for you tonight.
Yes, we do.
2 times this week.
Right. Washington Lee set to kick off. Solander. Here he goes. Who's going to take it? Somebody get it. Matt Beach fell on it. So Yorktown will take over at their own 22-yard line. They have a ways to go themselves. It is, Pete, I know, it is a beautiful night.
I might have been getting carried away by saying it was 70, but
we've had some bad football nights.
It's a beautiful night here in Greenbrier Stadium. Look, curious, we can't really figure out if you've joined us late as to why the lights are off everywhere. We're sitting in a darkened press booth, and the lights on the field are working, and obviously the lights in our truck are working so that we're able to keep this coming to you. But
Steffenbrock with the give to Crenshaw. Sorry, pardon me, to Matt Deach.
I just can't I don't think we have any answers, Afshin. The lights and the scoreboard are out.
I think that maybe some of the fans from Wakefield High School decided to sabotage this game.
Upset at being left out of the party. They came over to the other Arlington high schools. Turned out the lights.
Jeb Stewart joined them. Second down and long. The pitch out to Crenshaw. Not much on the play. This will bring up a third down for the Patriots. Deppenbrock on third and about 4. And there's the give, once again, to Crenshaw. I think they're going to measure. Yes, they will measure.
Senior night here at Greenbrier Stadium. You can't help but think about where these kids are going out to college, and certainly be a memorable evening for them, meeting their rivals. And I don't know who's going to go out and play football. You spoke about 18 years ago, the famous players that Washington Lee had, and you wonder if any of these young men will be going out to play in college or beyond.
Barry Sanders Zanders?
Perhaps. You've already tagged him for success. Anything less than a huge career in college and out to the pros is going to be a disappointment in Afshin's eyes.
Pete, you can bet some of these players are going to go on to college. That is the end of the first quarter. With the score, the Yorktown Patriots 12, the Washington Lee Generals 7. From Greenbrier Stadium, Afshin Banab, Peter Farnsworth. Halftime, we have a very interesting interview for you. Our man, the incandescent one, Chris Jerry, will interview the coaches from the Arlington Rec League. Those coaches and players are here tonight to witness this game. It's good for the players to see what high school football is like, get into the spirit of things. So Chris will have the interview with the coaches at halftime. Should be interesting.
Chris is doing the interviewing.
Again.
You know it's going to be interesting. You heard him last week trying to figure out the playoff. Well, he's already had it figured out, but trying to explain the playoff situation to all of our loyal listeners, viewers. I don't know if I had it straight, but he had it straight. I don't know if anyone else has it straight.
I was going to ask you, Pete, if you had it straight, because I definitely didn't. Deppenbrock, 1st and 10. Or that was 4th down, pardon me. Boy, I made a big blow up there. That was 4th down, and they went for it and got it. Just needed it. It was 4th in inches. Yorktown coming into this game at 3-2 in the district, 6-3 overall. Washington Lee 4-1 and 7-2 overall.
Afshin, you have every excuse in the world this evening. The lights on the scoreboard are off. The lights in the press box are off. It's a little difficult to get your bearings up here.
I'll buy that.
All right, sold.
1st and 10 from the 33 go the Yorktown Patriots. Deppenbrock gives the ball to Matt Deach, and he's on his feet. He's got a lot of yardage, close to midfield. Call it the 46-yard line. Flag on the play. Try and get a call for you as soon as we can. And there you see it. Ball start. Yorktown. Call it back. Yorktown will try again. Good look at Deppenbrock there. The give to Crenshaw. He's got a big hole. Breaks 1-2 tackle, still on his feet, and then he's down. Close to a first down.
Well, both Crenshaw and Zanders do very well as they look downfield very well. I think they watch where the blocks are developing, and they have some sense as to where they're running. As you see here, his head is up at all times, and he knows where the holes are, and he hits them very hard. And I think Zanders does the same thing. So those are two pretty important things, obviously, for a high school running back.
It's due to coaching, would you say?
Certainly.
And instinct, of course.
We see the Pee Wee teams are going to be out here at halftime. They were introduced at the beginning of the game. Much of that has to do with how you were taught all your life.
Matt Deach with a big hole. On his feet, out of bounds at the near side. First down, and a whole lot more for Matt Deach.
Deach ran out of room there on the sidelines. He tried to turn the corner, and he did successfully for about 15 to 20 yards, but then he just runs out of room.
Oh yeah, had he turned the corner, he might have been gone.
Cigarette.
He's fast for a big kid.
I don't want to see. I want to go home. Tell me I'm up. Oh,
First and 10 for the Patriots in Washington Lee territory at the 37. Deppenbrock with Crenshaw and Deach in the backfield. Deppenbrock rolling out to his right, decides to run it to the 30, 25, and he's knocked out of bounds. Pat Deppenbrock, Pete, with a very good run. His second run of the night, which gets him some yardage.
I don't know on that play if he was even thinking about passing the ball. He tucked the ball away pretty quickly there, and I think he expected to turn the corner. He does a good job of it. If you have three men who can run the ball, including Deppenbrock, Deach, and Crenshaw, you can always go to Sean Edwards as well, a backup running back who's we're told is an excellent running back. And then as well, Deppenbrock's arm, you certainly have a potent offense. So Yorktown can consider themselves lucky in the post-Mike Geeter era, who I saw stand on the sidelines down at Virginia.
Mike Geeter.
In Carolina.
North Carolina.
Met Virginia, watched Mike Geeter stand on the sidelines this year. I guess he will be standing for quite a bit, but from what I hear about him, he should have a pretty successful career down there at UNC.
Pete, I don't know what just happened here, but Yorktown is back at midfield. I did not see a flag on the play. Yorktown at midfield. Deppenbrock to Deach. Finds the hole, or Crenshaw, pardon me, finds the hole. Sweezy on his back. Takes him down just inside the 30-yard line.
Watch at the end of the play, the way Sweezy tackled him. He took him down with one arm and grabbed the ball at the same time. So Sweezy, good presence on this tackle. Watch him just hook him with his arm. Try to loosen the ball as well. So nice play by Sweezy to catch up with him.
Sweezy, in fairness to Crenshaw, Sweezy did have the angle on him. Still a nice play though. This will bring up ball on the 28-yard line. Second down. The give to Matt Deach. He's found a hole. Has Solander to beat. Still on his feet. Sweezy, touchdown. Matt Deach and the Yorktown Patriots.
Great run by Matt Deach. Matt Deach and Clint Crenshaw have got to be happy with one another because they just play off of each other. Crenshaw run left, Deach run up the middle, run right. I think they do a great job offsetting one another.
Last effort by Chad Sweezy, no good. Matt Deach takes it in for a touchdown, a 28-yard run by Matt Deach. That now makes the score 18-7 Yorktown. Second quarter, somewhere in the second quarter. Scoreboard still out.
Well, Andrew Craver went to the air successfully for Washington Lee. We'll see if he can't do it again. He's going to have to do it again with the points piling up in favor of Yorktown.
Like you said last week, Pete, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And if that's what's working for Washington Lee tonight, going to the air, which they have done successfully, Hopefully they'll keep doing it.
We'll see. They may have to start using the pass to set up Sam Zanders running rather than vice versa. They
Spread
usually
that
do
defense.
Sam Zanders running and sometimes go to the air, but sometimes just stick with Zanders the whole evening. Now they may have to go to the air first and Zanders second. We'll see. And we'll also see how Zanders can catch the ball. Maybe they can release him in the flat and get him open across the middle. Who knows? But with switching off quarterbacks, it might be a little difficult. Andrew Craver did do a good job tossing a nice touchdown pass early on already for Washington Lee, so maybe he'll be the man to go with.
Yorktown looking for the 2-point conversion. The give to Deach again, and he's stopped. 18-7. 18-7 Yorktown.
I think he go to the air on that 2-point conversion. Deppenbrock, I don't think he hasn't thrown an incomplete pass yet this evening. And I think when you go to the air on a 2-point conversion like that, you have the option where Deppenbrock can scramble and run it in, or pick from a host of his favorite receivers. But on the flip side of that, let me argue myself out of this, is Deach and Crenshaw have not been stopped very easily this evening, so who am I to second guess? What a crowd, though, tonight, Afshin. If you look
excellent.
over, they line the fence that surrounds the stadium. On both sides, we have a real full bleachers, which is really nice to see. Friday evening, this is the activity in Arlington between these two schools.
As you said, this is the rivalry in the Potomac District. Other games tonight, Washington Lee, of course, at Yorktown, here at Greenbrier Stadium. Annandale is at Fairfax. Stewart is at Falls Church. And in a non-district game, Wakefield is hosting Jefferson, so I guess they didn't come over here and sabotage the scoreboard and the lights. They're playing tonight. They couldn't do that.
Some of the boosters did, though.
18-7, Yorktown Patriots holding a lead over the Washington Lee Generals somewhere in the second quarter. Sweezy and Zanders deep. And this one will be taken by Zanders. He's got a lot of blockers in front of him. Finds a hole. Taken down short of the 35-yard line.
That was the first chance Sam Zanders had to return a kick this evening. They've been kicking away from him all evening. That time, nice return up to, as you said, just about the 35.
Washington Lee, Pete desperate for a score before the end of the first half. 18-7 Yorktown. And we'll see if they go back to the pass. Sweezy is to the near side. Solander to the far. Zanders and Barquero in the backfield. The fake to Barquero. Teddy Key is in the flat to Zanders, as you call, Pete. Not much for Sam Zanders, but it wasn't really a great pass either.
Actually, sort of a laterally threw it. It was a pass, but he threw it behind
the line of scrimmage.
Behind the line of scrimmage, and you see Zanders pointing to himself, fingering his chest there as he comes back to the huddle. He's very upset with himself tonight. He expects great things from himself, which is terrific, but he's in for a night of frustration so far.
Luckily, that ball didn't take a bad hop on him. Would have been a fumble. So this will be a second and long. Teddy Key with the give to Zanders. Nothing doing for Sam Zanders. Lost a couple on that play. So it'll be third and long from their own 30. Third and about 13. And Zanders just has nothing going for him tonight.
Look at the Washington Lee bench. Now back over to the huddle. They can't be down on themselves yet, though. Still plenty of time in the game.
A lot of time, and they're only down, 18-7. This game is far from being over, somewhere in the second quarter. Third and 13. Teddy Key is now in at quarterback. And he drops back. Being pursued.
Oh. Almost
intended for Willie
intercepted.
Barquero, almost intercepted by a host of Yorktown Patriots. Take your pick. And Pete, I really don't understand why Coach Musket did not stay with Andrew Craver for the pass. He was successful their last series, throwing 2 very good passes. The long timing pattern to Chad Sweezy. I don't understand why he didn't stay with Craver.
Well, he may go back very, very quickly on the next series. That time, a very dangerous pass. Could have been intercepted by about 3 different Yorktown players, and that would have been another 6 for the Yorktown side of things.
Washington lead a punt. Being pursued.
Nice punt.
Ken Handy loses control of the ball, picks it up at about the 25-yard line.
Andy, I don't think, expected that type of punt. He had to retreat for that, try to catch it over his shoulder. Just lucky he came up with it.
That was a very nice punt. He, as you said, Pete, he's lucky he came up with it. The one thing about tonight's game is that there have been 3 fumbles now. All of them, all hops. There have been no bad hops on the fumbles, so fortunately in all 3 cases the offensive squad maintained possession. One bad hop will turn around the game. Rolando Terrazas. I tried.
I'm sure he appreciates it.
The give. Nothing doing. In the booth, the lights just came on. Hopefully the same thing can be said of the scoreboard in a few minutes. I did get word from the van that there's approximately 7.5 minutes to go. This will be a 2nd down situation for Yorktown. The lights are back. The party is not over, folks. Deppenbrock. The give to Crenshaw. Finds a little hole. Finally brought down at about the 37-yard line.
Crenshaw gang
33-yard line, I'm sorry.
Gang tackled that time. About 6 or 7 Washington Lee players in on that tackle.
There we are.
Just tiny little ants on your screen almost.
Crenshaw, the 3rd down and 1 yard.
3rd and 1. The electric clock operator hopefully will get that thing working.
Yeah.
3rd and 1 for the Patriots. Deppenbrock with the carry. This is enough for a 1st down.
Tackle made by David Cambrano. The 1st down, Yorktown.
Yorktown will take over. We'll maintain possession. 1st and 10 for the Patriots.
Ball now on the 37-yard line.
Ball on the 37-yard line.
Referees call timeout this time. They don't like something that was going on.
Once again, hey, Pete, it's working. We see that the home team has 18 points. The visiting team, there you go, 18-7. There's a timeout for Washington Lee.
They're going to work on the time left in the game. Right now it's resting at 15 minutes, which obviously we know is not correct. If you've just joined us, the thing we keep alluding to is the fact that the lights have been off at Greenbrier Stadium, home of the Yorktown Patriots, all evening. They just have come back on. We really don't have an explanation as to why they were off in the first place, but the scoreboard was out, and so were the lights in the press box. Afshin Banab, a play-by-play man on my right, handled it like a true professional, never rattled. However,
Likewise, Mr. Farnsworth.
However, the rest of the people in the booth had little handheld flashlights to try to figure out what was going on. So it was very interesting conditions, to say the least.
Exactly. Pete, with one thing I'd like to reiterate, though, Yorktown, in order to make the playoffs, must win tonight and hope that Robert E. Lee wins their game, and hope that, of course, Robert E. Lee's playing West Potomac, and and they also hope that Annandale defeats Fairfax.
So you can be sure that they'll try to get done with things here, defeat Washington Lee, and rush home and make some quick phone calls to their friends to find out what else happened around the area.
They're doing a good job right now, up 18-7.
Fumble on the play, recovered by
There was a fumble on the play. Deppenbrock recovered it. This will bring up a second down and 12.
Little break in the action as we look at the Washington Lee sidelines. The player we're focusing on there is Andrew Craver, number 7, quarterback, sometimes quarterback for Washington Lee. They switch on and off.
Second down. Deppenbrock rolling to his left. Goes deep to Handy. Oh, just a bit overthrown. Handy was wide open. Shows you the arm that Deppenbrock has. He really has a good arm.
Looks like he doesn't put much effort into it either. He tossed that ball without any problem whatsoever, right down middle of the field in the tight spiral. The referee had to outrun the ball at that time.
One thing I guess you can count on with Deppenbrock, Pete, is that when he does throw, if his man is not going to catch it, it will be incomplete. I don't think he's got, I'm not quite sure, and I don't want to put myself in the saddle, but I don't think he has many interceptions this year. The fake to Crenshaw. Deppenbrock once again rolling out. Looking to run this time to the 40. On his feet down the sidelines across midfield. Taken out at about the Washington Lee 45-yard line. Nice run by Deppenbrock. This will bring a 1st and 10 for them as the chains are moved. Good run by Deppenbrock.
Watch on this replay as you see Deppenbrock's long legs start galloping. He kicks into high gear right about here. And he's galloping right there. Full gallop. Right past 3 or 4 Washington Lee would-be defenders.
So Deppenbrock keeps this drive alive for the Patriots. Yorktown at the Washington Lee 44-yard line. 18-7, Patriots lead somewhere along in the second quarter. We are nearing the end of the first half. Deppenbrock being rushed, tosses up to Ken Handy again. He's open, caught at the 10, touchdown Yorktown.
Ken Handy for a touchdown.
Beautiful catch for Handy, caught up to that pass, and we'll go to a replay, no doubt. What a nice pass, timing pattern, and Handy just had to catch up to the ball, and as you said, if he didn't catch it, no one would catch it. Boom, right in his hands. Look at him elude the rush a little bit, step back, and gun it. Handy, outstretched arms, touchdown. Yorktown Patriots.
Beautiful timing pattern once again.
Just like that, 24-7 at Greenbrier Stadium. Washington Lee against the ropes once again.
44-yard touchdown pass from Deppenbrock to Handy. Just got word that there's 4 minutes left in the first half. West Potomac is defeating Robert E. Lee 14-7. Bit of a holdup right now. And Pete, Yorktown just keeps coming back. See Everett Dally getting instructions. Yorktown just keeps on coming back. Not like they've had to come back, really.
Well, at that point where it was 12-0, Yorktown was leading, and Washington Lee came up with a quick score, and all of a sudden they were back into things and had a lot more confidence, and now, again, they've dug a hole for themselves, or Yorktown has dug it for them, rather, to a tune of 24-7. And Pat Deppenbrock stealing the show. You got to give credit to Clint Crenshaw and Deach in the backfield, but Pat Deppenbrock is the one who gets everything going as a general, the quarterback in the backfield for Yorktown.
He's the man tonight. They go for the 2-point conversion. Deppenbrock rolling out, being blitzed. Incomplete. It'll stay 24-7, so that is 3 2-point conversions by Yorktown.
The score now, Yorktown 24.
Deppenbrock this time, a little frustration. He has already thrown 2 touchdown passes on the evening. This is one of the only incomplete passes he's thrown. In fact, maybe the only incomplete pass he's thrown all evening. That's a look at the beautiful turf we have at Yorktown's Greenbrier Stadium.
Somebody's jacket.
Very, very dry evening, which is unusual. We've usually done games in the rain, or I guess we haven't done any snow games yet this year, which is a nice thing.
Not yet. You're watching high school football on Arlington Community Television, Channel 33. We are back. Never did go to a break. My apologies. Yorktown set to kick off. Nearing the end of the first half. Sweezy from his 15. Finds a small hole. Carries a whole bunch of players with him. Crosses the 35-yard line. Washington will take over. Washington and Lee will take over from their own 35. Now we're going to take a break. Be back in a minute.
Tonight, Dolores had a few drinks, did some crack, and ended up another tragic story. Only she doesn't know it yet. Drugs make you forget. And if you forget how risky sex can be, you could catch the AIDS virus and not know it for months, even years. AIDS, another way drugs can kill.
We are back. Andrew Craver off the blitz, hands off to Sam Zanders, and he gets nothing. It's not only that Sam Zanders isn't getting much tonight, Pete, he's not getting blocking. He is not getting help up front. The Yorktown defense is pursuing quickly, they're pursuing aggressively. They are on top of the situation at the line of scrimmage, in the trenches.
One thing you wonder about, though, Sam Zanders showed a lot of endurance last week against Stewart, and if Yorktown slips up a little bit, gets complacent even just a little bit with their 24-7 lead, Sam Zanders is gone, and you'll be playing catch-up and running right behind him.
The give to Zanders. You might have called it, Pete. He's across midfield to the 40. He's got only 2 players to beat. 15. Sam Zanders at the 20 of Yorktown.
And I could go to Las Vegas with that kind of prediction. Sam Zanders, and you see him all the time at the end of the run with the trademark stiff arm. Watch him. I love this stiff arm. He always uses this. Right down your throat, he'll put it. Boom. Boom. Sam Zanders will break it on you. 24-7, but Yorktown can't get careless with Sam Zanders.
I'm going with you. Washington Lee, 1st and 10 at the Yorktown 20. All of a sudden, back in the thick of things. Andrew Craver with a timing pattern to Chad Sweezy. He caught it! I'm sorry, Dan Solander. Touchdown, Washington Lee.
Yorktown fans are visibly upset that he pushed off, they say, in the end zone, and we'll catch that on a replay. The instant replay in the booth. Everyone's crowded around up in the booth, and we'll see what exactly happened on this play. It was, as you said, go ahead and call it a timing pattern.
Dan Solander with a nice catch. Incidental contact. There is no penalty on that play. Feet get caught. That's it. And it is a touchdown. Beautiful timing pattern. And once again, Pete, the Washington Lee Generals are back in the thick of things. 24-13, going for the extra point. Solander with a nice 20-yard catch on a timing pattern. Kick is long enough, high enough. Kick is good. 24-14.
24,
Not sure how much time remains in the first half.
14 Washington leads.
Clearly, Washington Lee is going to stick with Andrew Craver this evening. He's the one who's passed for 2 touchdowns, and I see no reason why they'd be switching off any longer. And unfortunately for Teddy Key, I think he may be sitting on the sidelines for the rest of the evening. But hey, maybe they'll prove me wrong. I've been proved wrong many times so far this season, but why switch it up? Andrew Craver's having a nice evening. 2 touchdown passes, and there Sam Sanders is in a much different frame of mind now. He's being congratulated on the sidelines, and all of a sudden he's in the thick of things. Before, he was standing by himself and sitting by himself on the bench, frustrated with what was a very frustrating evening.
Down 10, a minute and a half to go. I just received word. Minute and a half to go first half.
Kicking out for Washington Lee.
Sanders finally broke one long, propelling his Washington Lee Generals to their second score of the evening. The score rests 24-14. Right before the half.
So Sweezy gets a touchdown from a timing pattern. Dan Solander gets a touchdown from a timing pattern. Yorktown scores on a timing pattern.
And who would think that Washington Lee would have 2 touchdowns at this point and both would be in the air? Not me.
I'm with you. I don't quite get it from what we've seen Washington Lee do for most of the season. Scott Fletcher with the run.
Kickoff return by Scott Fletcher. Tackle made by Pagero.
It's just too big a game for Yorktown to get complacent. And I'm not saying they necessarily were, but Pat Eppenbrock has got to get the troops fired up, because even leading 24-14 going into the half, they cannot get complacent even one bit, because Sam Sanders, as we've seen, will break it on you. And Andrew Craver having a good night at quarterback.
Deppenbrock with the give to Crenshaw.
Okay, by Crenshaw.
Make something out of what should have been nothing.
Tackle made by Hutchinson.
Jason Hutchinson on the stop.
Also on the tackle is Fernandez.
This will bring up a second down for the Patriots.
The second down and 6.
Second and 6. Deppenbrock rolling out again, looking to pass, looking to go deep. Now decides to run it. On his feet to the 50, 45. Taken out of bounds.
Ball carried by Deppenbrock.
About the 42-yard line.
Out of bounds at the
Deppenbrock with a nice run.
43-yard line.
The thing
Didn't
you don't
look designed though, Pete.
The thing we got to talk about there is the protection he gets in the backfield, because although it broke down at the end of the play, he gets much time. Finally breaks down, and then he has the legs to outrun the pursuit and not get hit to boot.
45 seconds to go, first half. Nice run by Deppenbrock. Deppenbrock has run the ball 3 times tonight. There is a timeout on the field.
Yorktown.
Yorktown with the timeout. Catch you up on the playoff situation. 3 of the 4 spots in the Northern Region Division 5 playoffs are set. Hayfield, the Gunston District champion and the defending Northern Region Division 5 champion, is returning and is the top seed, and they will have a home game on November 19th. Langley and Marshall of the Great Falls District will occupy seats 2 and 3, though it has yet to be determined who is the district champion there. Should they both be upset tonight, it is possible that Herndon would win the Great Falls District, and because they are in a Division 6, would get that district's automatic bid and go to the Division 6 playoffs. So a lot of games tonight hanging in the balance all around the Northern Region. Deppenbrock to Ken Handy, almost picked off.
And that was the first play you've seen where Pat Deppenbrock was throwing off his back foot. Let's go to a replay on that and watch. As you can see, hopefully, that Pat Deppenbrock threw that pass in a very unusual way. See him fading back for the first time. Usually he strides into the pass, mechanically correct, and that time falling back, sort of a fadeaway. Just didn't get the power behind the ball that he usually does.
The ball that way. This will bring up a second down. At the 43 for the Patriots. Deppenbrock rolling out again. Has good protection. The toss to Matt Deach. Breaks one tackle. On his feet to the 20. 15. Down just outside the 10-yard line. Matt Deach with a nice catch and run.
We'll go to a replay on that, and I want you to see Chad Sweezy level Matt Deach at the end of this play.
Solander with the miss.
Deach with the nice running. Watch Chad Sweezy's eyes light up. Boom! Have some.
Reminds me of why I never was a football player.
She took one look at that hit when he was a little kid. Went straight to the booth.
Yes.
Make the big money.
Yes.
Chad Sweezy's actually had a couple nice tackles, touchdown saving tackles for Washington Lee. He's done a nice job from the defensive back position. Actually done a nice job on the offensive side of things too. We see that every time they kick off, with the exception of once, they've kicked it to Chad Sweezy away from Sam Zanders. And Chad Sweezy's done a very nice job with it.
Sweezy playing well on both sides of the ball.
The real name, though, that we're going to be mentioning, I think, a lot in the second half, and hopefully for Washington Lee fans, they hope that we mention it a lot. And I think he's the man, the key for the second half is Andrew Craver. He's got his helmet off right now. He's standing on the sidelines, and he's tossed 2 touchdown passes already this evening. Entering the second half, his team is down 24-14, and he's going to be the one who has to engineer the drives in the second half for Washington Lee.
Nearing the end of the first half, Deppenbrock looking things over. The timing pattern once again. Touchdown, Yorktown. Again. At the end of the first half, Scott Fletcher with a catch.
Deppenbrock with the real maturity on senior night here. Timing pattern from the senior. Boom. 1 foot inbounds. Touchdown.
That's all you need. Touchdown Yorktown. They're looking to blow this thing out.
Scott Fletcher, one of Pat Deppenbrock's favorite receivers.
28 seconds to go in the first half. I'm really impressed with Deppenbrock. I have been throughout this season and last. But he's putting on a show tonight. He comes right back at you. 2-point conversion attempt. Deppenbrock with the give to Crenshaw. And he's just down. Penalty, Crenshaw slamming the ball, spiking it on the turf, and there's your penalty. Just out of frustration.
Let's talk about Deppenbrock a little bit more. How many incomplete passes has he thrown? About 2?
One was an incomplete pass that was intended for Ken Handy, where you pointed out the mechanical that he was that he threw off his back foot, and the other one was an incomplete pass on the 2-point conversion, where he was being pursued. So he threw, as far as we know, 2 incomplete passes.
Exceptional night thus far for Pat Deppenbrock. Has picked apart the Washington Lee defense.
30-14, Yorktown. Yorktown really looking to play spoiler tonight.
If you're just joining us, you might think it's the third quarter, early in the fourth quarter, 30-14, Yorktown leading. But no, it's not even halftime at Greenbrier Stadium. Yorktown has exploded for 30 first half points behind the arm of Pat Deppenbrock. Senior night. What a better night to do it than on senior night for Pat Deppenbrock. He's been saving the best for last. He's hooked up with all his favorites. Scott Fletcher, Matt Deach done a great job in the backfield, as has Clint Crenshaw.
He's got those Arlington County Rec League
He should have
kids
it now.
watching
He should
too,
have it
so
now. That
they're
was
going to
pulled
take
out.
notice on what it's like to be a good quarterback in high school football. So the penalty was assessed, and Yorktown will kick off from their own 25-yard line. Chad Sweezy and Sam Zanders. Nearing the end of the first half at Greenbrier Stadium. Squib kick. Sorry about that. The ball is just loose. It's going everywhere.
Luckily for Yorktown, the ball was able to roll down to the 40-yard line, 38-yard line to be exact, because that could have been recovered at midfield at least.
The only good thing there for Washington Lee was that time was taken off the clock, because Yorktown was inches away from recovering that ball and threatening to score once again. From their own 38 we go. Washington Lee in at quarterback. Teddy Key.
Why do you
And
go to
Pete
Teddy
shakes
Key?
his head. To Chad Sweezy down the sideline. And he gets to midfield.
Nothing against Teddy Key, but I just haven't seen him do anything this evening. I've seen Andrew Craver throw 2 touchdown passes. I don't know why you sit him down. Why don't you stay with him? Let your team develop a little continuity. 30-14, you're down. You got to go with one quarterback, I would think. Get a little confidence in one man and have him lead you back, because you're no longer just handing the ball off to Sam Sanders time after time where the quarterback doesn't matter.
That will work in the second half.
You're going to the air. You're going to have to do a lot more on offense, so just give the ball to Sam Sanders.
That is the end of the first half. With the score, Yorktown 30, Washington 14. We'll be back after this.
Here's one time it doesn't matter who your neighbor is. Here's the other. Life's too short. Stop the hate.
It's halftime here at tonight's Yorktown Washington Lee football game. I'm Chris Jerry, and tonight here at Greenbrier Stadium it's youth football night. And as you see, we've got some players and some coaches along, and standing alongside me is Dave Bombeck. He's the commissioner of the Youth Football Association here in Arlington. And Dave, tell us a little bit about yourself and your organization.
Well, I've been the commissioner for this, my first year as commissioner now, and we've grown from 6 teams last year to 11 teams this year. And we've got some of the coaches and players with us here tonight. I'd like to introduce them to you. Starting down here at the end, we got Rick Allison, coach of our ankle biter Bulldog team, one of the 3 teams that made the playoffs this year. Next to him is Joe Horgus and Mike Kane. They were the 110 national coaches. We got Danny McGill here, 110 American coach. We got Dennis Bell, our 95 American coach. John Morgan, our ankle biter Wildcats coach, and Tony Fernandez, our 75 national coach.
Now, I got to see a little bit of your teams play this year. Your particular team did real well. How long has the league been in, or the organization rather?
Well, we've been an organization since 1982, and we participate in the Fairfax County League.
And about how many kids do you have total on the teams?
This year we had 307 players.
307, that's a lot. Well, I'm going to step down here and talk to some of the coaches, and I'll start with this gentleman. And how was your season this year?
Well, the kids had fun. We didn't win too many games, but they had fun.
And next to you.
About the same.
Oh, I hear a lot about the same. Has anybody had a winning season? You look like you might have had a winning season.
No, I didn't have a winning season. We was mediocre this year, 3-5. You know, but we just built that team, and they'll have to reckon with it next year.
Participation is what it's all about, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, now I'll go to this side. Tell me, you're the guy that's got the winning team, right?
We had a winning team. We sure did. We started out with 24 players. We still have 24 players. They're all first-year boys. They'll be back next year, and they're doing a good job. We're proud of them.
Okay, and Coach, what about you?
Well, Mike and I, we're on the same team, and we had a great season, and we're proud of our kids. They did a lot of hard work, as did they all, and we're proud of the organization.
And how about your team?
We went 5-2 this year, and the kids really played well. I got the littlest of the bunch, and we're real proud of them. They really done well after starting out 1-2, and I'm real proud of them.
And of course, I saved my buddy for last. Danny, what do you have this year?
Well, we finished 2-5, but I tell you what, this team that I have, they're so great, and I think they'll all be back next year. If then 2 or 3 of them, they might be playing high school ball, but I'm going to try to convince them to come back to Arlington.
Well, that's very impressive that you had 6 teams and it's gone to 11. And you know, I'm really high on youth sports, and I like to just take the time to congratulate all you gentlemen for giving your volunteer time to come out and help the youth in our county. And I think it's very important that, as you see, the kids in front of us are having a good time. So that's going to wrap it up for our little halftime segment. Once again, the score 30 to 14 in favor of Yorktown, and with the Arlington youth football coach, I'm Chris Jerry. We'll kick it back up to the booth after this.
We are back. Second half to begin any minute now. 30 to 14 Yorktown. Pete, we have some interesting stats. Your man Deppenbrock, 5 rushes for 52 yards. 4 of 7 passing, 112 yards. Crenshaw on the ground, 9 for 78. Deach, 8 for 72. And for the Generals, Sam, Barry Sanders, Zanders, 11 rushes for a disappointing 38 yards. That may change. Andrew Craver, 4 of 6 passing, 87 yards.
And also 2 touchdowns is a key stat for Andrew Craver. You see him warming up. Actually, I don't know if you see him, but we see him warming up out on the field right now. And we'll see if they go with him. Washington Lee go with him in the second half. He's thrown 2 touchdowns for the Generals. And it'll be interesting to see who they choose to go with at quarterback, or if they choose to keep alternating all evening. But as you said, Afshin, 30 to 14 as we start the second half.
They have their work cut out for them, do the Generals. Yorktown's got their whole team on the field. There you see the Potomac District standings.
That's a nice shot.
Washington Lee with a win, of course, puts them up at 5-1. Yorktown right behind them there.
Can you say enough about our camera work tonight? We got 4 cameras working for you. If you're sitting at home on Sunday afternoon or Tuesday, you're getting this right into your living room.
It's ESPN.
ESPN-like. ESPN 3.
ESPN 3, you got it. Dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun.
30 to 14, a huge score at the half for high school football, obviously. And as you mentioned, Washington Lee does have their work cut out. Sam Zanders is the man for them, and
Pete,
Andrew
before we
Craver,
get
the quarterback.
into the second half here, I want your prediction of the Florida State-Notre Dame game. It is Friday night, November 12th, so we're predicting this game a day in advance. Pete, what is your prediction?
I think Florida State's going to have an easy time of it, to be honest. I know that all the statistics point in Lou Holtz's favor in terms of the number of times meeting teams ranked in the top 10 and all that when they come to South Bend, and all of that I think is out the window when you have Charlie Ward at quarterback against Kevin McDougal. I think it's
so you have Florida State knocking them off easily.
It's clearly
I do too. I think Florida State's going to win hands down. What I like about this college football season as well is that Florida State, should they go on to the bowl and win and become national champion, they will have defeated Miami, Notre Dame, Florida later on at the end of the season, and then whoever the bowl challenger is, meaning that they will have defeated the top 5 teams in the country in one season. There won't be a mythical champion. As you see, the kickoff return to the 35-yard line. So I look for Florida State to handle that one easily. Now you have our predictions out there. It's Friday, November 12th. None of this next Friday stuff. We're here now, telling you.
Strange things happen in South Bend, though, so we might both be surprised, but I think Florida State's going to have an easy time of it. I just don't think they can stick with Florida State's speed. You know you're in trouble when your running back is slower than their linebackers.
Deppenbrock. The give to Matt Deach. Upended at the 36-yard line. Nothing doing for Deach. Hey, there we are. This will bring up a 2nd and 9 situation for the Yorktown Patriots. Ball at 36. Deppenbrock with the give to Crenshaw. 3rd and about 7. Washington Lee holding the Patriots here in their first series in the second half. Coming up on the 10.5-minute mark, the Generals looking to come back in this game down 30-14. They have their work cut out for them in the second half. The Generals with 7 players on the line. Deppenbrock looking back. Incomplete. Intended for Ken Handy.
I think that just would have been enough to pick up the first down, but in and out of the hands of Ken Handy. Handy's come up with a couple nice catches thus far this evening, though. One of his favorite receivers along with Scott Fletcher. Sam Zanders, you see on the sidelines, getting ready for what he hopes is a big second half.
They need a big performance out of him if they're to think of advancing, making the playoffs. Almost blocked. Sweezy lets it bounce.
Tough to know if that was such a good decision. Ultimately, it didn't take such a great Yorktown hop, but it took one giant Yorktown hop and then kind of sputtered and died, but it looked like it could have gone all the way down to the 3 or 4 yard line.
Very fortunate there.
Sweezy might have been done better for himself if he had called fair catch.
Neftali Rosado is on the sidelines trying to pump up his team. He's yelling at the highest peak of his voice.
You say that name 10 times fast.
Not even going to try. Ball on the 14, 9:39 to go, and counting. Third quarter, Yorktown up 30-14. 1st and 10. And the give to Samuel Zanders. Nothing doing on the carry. And your man is in a quarterback, Andrew Craver. We'll see how many times he goes to the air.
And I think one of the keys for Washington Lee is that they can't be predictable in the second half as they have been throughout the season at times. They have been successful with the predictability, but I think you maybe have to change it up a little bit and maybe go to the air on first down a couple times and surprise some people. I don't know if Yorktown's expecting that exactly.
Yorktown playing close to the line of scrimmage. The pitch out to Zanders. The reverse to Chad Sweezy. He's got a lot of running room. He's across to the 35. The 40 cuts back in. 45. Tackled at the 48-yard line. Scott Fletcher with the tackle. Along with Alex Banks.
Cut to a replay on that, and you can watch him turn the corner, churning his arms. Watch this as he hits top speed, turning the corner. Picks up a nice gain. Nice little block there.
Nice little cut back there for Sweezy. Jim Turp also on the tackle.
Now you go to the air.
1st and 10 from the 47.
Go to the air one time.
Of the Washington Generals. The give to Barquero. Stopped right as he got the ball, so nothing doing there for Barquero. Coming up on the 8-minute mark in the third quarter. 30-14 Yorktown, if you're just joining us. From Greenbrier Stadium, Afshin Banab, Peter Farnsworth. Second and long.
Get a look at the festivities and the cheerleaders on the sideline. You can also get a sense for how many people are actually here. You have a packed stand on, actually both sides of the fields are packed.
It is almost
all the way
sold out,
around,
really.
all the way around the fence outlining the stadium.
The give to Zanders. A little bit of running room up the middle, close to the 40-yard line. Washington Lee in desperate situations right now. This will be a first down for the Generals. We'll call it the 42-yard line.
First down for Washington Lee, call it the 42-yard line.
.720 and counting for the Generals. Yorktown showing blitz. Craver with the fake. And then the pitch to Blake Schaefer, who's off to the races. Touchdown, Washington Lee. First time we heard his name tonight, Pete. Blake Schaefer. A 42-yard touchdown from Andrew Craver.
That's 3 touchdown passes on the evening for Andrew Craver. Doing a nice job at quarterback for Washington Lee.
And there you see Blake Schaefer off to the races. Scott Fletcher can't get him.
Just about a 10-yard pass, 10 to 12-yard strike.
A little showboating by Schaefer there. Brings the score to 30-20. Third quarter, heck of a lot of time to go. Solander to attempt the extra point. Low snap. The punt, or the kick rather, is up. It's good. It's a 9-point ball game, folks.
We've seen the night of the big play this evening, Afshin. Touchdown after touchdown, 30-21 at the start of the second half. The third quarter will tell a lot, I think, for Washington Lee. If they can pull off one more score, they will be in a dogfight the rest of the way. Right now, the game's still in Yorktown's control. Washington Lee picked up a little momentum there. Very fired up on the sidelines. And now, if you don't go with Andrew Craver for the rest of the game, I don't know what's going on.
I would really like to ask Coach Musket, what he has in mind when he alternates quarterbacks like that. If we can get a shot of the Washington Lee bench, they are psyched. They are pumping arms. Sam Zander's in a much better disposition right now, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Shaking hands on the sidelines. First half, we saw that he was sitting by himself often, very frustrated with his performance. If they can get the ball back really quick or hold Yorktown, force them to punt, that'll go a long way toward getting themselves back in.
Fans are getting antsy. To the 30 is Ken Handy. To the far side, 35. Maybe short of the 35-yard line. And we have a barn burner, folks.
I think if you're Bruce Hanson, coach of the Yorktown Patriots, what you want right now is a long, drawn-out drive behind your senior quarterback, Pat Eppenbrock, handing it off time and again. Clint Crenshaw and Matthew Deach. See if they can't march all the way downfield.
Personal foul against the Generals. 47-yard line now, so the Generals move up to the 47-yard line. Near midfield. Good field position for Yorktown. Deppenbrock now with the give to Matt Deach. Matt Deach with a little bit of running room. Gains about 4 or 5 yards on the play. This will bring up a second. And a good long 5 yards.
7 yards to be second down and 3.
Deppenbrock with the give to Deach, finds a big hole up the middle again. So the Patriots driving at ease, at will here, Pete. This will bring up a first down for the Yorktown Patriots.
Number 46, Jason Hutchinson.
Jason Hutchinson on the tackle. There's Matt Deach. Breaks a couple tackles, gets some nice blocking on the way.
The ball's at the 34-yard line.
Patriots driving, 1st and 10 at the 34. Looks like there's a
injured player down on the field.
injured player, yes.
Both teams take advantage of this to take a quick timeout. So while timeout is on the field, we look back up to the scoreboard and see that the score remains 30-21 in favor of the Yorktown Patriots. And the Patriots are driving. If you just joined us, it's been obviously quite a high scoring affair, with Pat Deppenbrock leading the Patriots as he's done all year. The surprise has been Andrew Craver, quarterback for Washington Lee. He's done an excellent job, 3 touchdown passes. As we go to the break, we'll be back.
Y'all still want me to come with you? We are back. Washington Lee player being escorted off the field after just a minor injury. It looks okay. Hopefully things will be okay for him. It doesn't look too serious. That is number 46 on your screen, Jason Hutchinson. He's the one who made the tackle on Matt Deach there. Looks like he's just shaken up a bit, no problem for him. Back to the field of play. 6 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Patriots up 30-21 from the 34. Deppenbrock with the give. Matt Deach again, nothing doing this time.
Tackle made by Lampert. Gain of 2 yards, 2nd down and 8.
2nd and 8. From the 32. Deppenbrock with the give to Crenshaw. Stiff arms one tackler. Tries to another one. Gets inside the 30, close to the 25-yard line. Short of a first down. Chad Sweezy on the stop.
3rd down and 3.
Last we heard concerning the other games, West Potomac was up on Lee 14-7 at halftime. Fairfax and Annandale were tied at 10 at the half. We'll try and get more information. Pass to you as soon as we can. 3rd and 3 for Deppenbrock and company. The give to Matt Deach, and he gets the first down.
That's what Yorktown wants, just to churn out the clock.
Bumbling, stumbling, rumbling, Matt Deach for the first down.
Take as much time as they can. Let the clock wind down.
Under 4.5 to go.
It's their ally right now. 30-21 is the score, and they're in their favor.
For the Generals, even a touchdown along with the 2-point conversion won't be good enough. 4 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. The give to Crenshaw. Nothing doing for Clint Crenshaw.
Tackle made by number 65, Terrazas.
We'll call this a 2nd and 10 from the 24. Yorktown threatening once again.
Long for 2 yards would be 2nd down and 12.
.325 to go, 3rd quarter. Clock moving along. Yorktown happy with that. The fake to Crenshaw, Deppenbrock with his rollout. He's going to run this one. He's got blockers in front of him to the 20, 15, knocked out of bounds. Close to the 10-yard line.
Go to a replay on that nice little move by Deppenbrock as he tries to point out to the ref where, in fact, he made it on his run. Tucks the ball away. With his long strides, nice run for about 15.
Deppenbrock has great success running the ball, especially tonight.
I think
Coming into the second half, he had 5 carries for 52 yards.
Often teams are worried about him stopping at the line of scrimmage and throwing the ball. So with Deppenbrock, you're never sure. He's a great runner, but he's an even better passer. So you have to respect the passing ability first, I think, and then try to calculate as to whether he's running or passing. So he's got that in his favor. A diversified attack from Yorktown.
They get a good look at Deppenbrock. Measuring the ball.
Be 3rd down and less than a yard.
3rd and, we'll call it 3rd and inches, folks. 3rd and inches. We're not going to start calling our plays of the game here, Pete, so we'll just say it's 3rd quarter, 3rd and inches, Yorktown up 30-21 at the Washington Lee 12-yard line.
Who do you give the ball to here?
Well, if it's 3rd and inches, you could let Deppenbrock just sneak it. You know what I'd do? I'd go ahead and pass it.
Into the end
Short
zone,
pass,
touchdown?
You could do it. Everyone's on the line. Deppenbrock sneaks it. 1st down for Yorktown.
It's easy to be crazy up in the booth. It's a little more conservative on the sidelines. When you have the parents, the alumni, and your players to answer to, I think it's a pretty safe bet you're going to go with Deppenbrock up the middle. Afshin and I would have liked to have seen him go to the end zone. Touchdown. Pat Deppenbrock for another 6, but now they have 3 plays to try that.
Now they have, yeah. But see, you could go to the end zone, not even go to the end zone. You could throw it, and then if you don't get anything, then you could sneak Deppenbrock. Go for it on 4th down. This is gambling time, folks. 1st and goal, ball on the 10-yard line. Deppenbrock with the give to Matt Deach. Stopped short of the 10, so he's lost a yard or 2.
Tackle made by Rolando Terrazas. Also Charles Lampard.
So this will be 2nd and goal for the Yorktown Patriots. 2 minutes, 20 seconds and counting.
You see on the Washington Lee sidelines, what you can't see at home is Sam Zanders and Andrew Craver plotting their comeback with the 2-minute mark rapidly approaching, the score 30-21, and Yorktown threatening once again. The 2 Washington Lee standouts stand on the sidelines conferring as to what they can do to get back in the ball game.
2nd and goal from the 11. Deppenbrock drops back. Incomplete.
Uncharacteristic for Pat Deppenbrock. Generally, even on his incomplete passes, they're fairly close to a receiver. You can sort of make an excuse for him as to why he didn't hook up with the receiver. Sometimes it's a receiver that missed the ball. Pat Deppenbrock, usually not far off the mark that time, was an exception. He obviously wasn't on the same page with his receiver.
Not that time. Pass intended for Ken Handy. 3rd and goal from the 11. Deppenbrock looking back to pass. He's got a man on the timing pattern again. Flag on the play. Incomplete. They call him out of bounds, but there is a flag on the play. Not sure. I can't tell if that was either Scott Fletcher or Ken Handy, Pete. Still not sure who that was intended for. That could be offensive. Look like Scott Fletcher. It is offensive interference. So that'll push him back
the ball was in the air just for such a long time that he had enough time to get under the ball and then put himself in a position to catch it, bump the defensive back a little bit. Fletcher took a little bit too much advantage on that play and gave the referee just too good an angle also to make the call. Nobody has much of a complaint this time, even at Yorktown's home field.
There you see it.
How anxious are you standing on the sidelines if you're Sam Zanders? You want the ball back. How badly do you want the ball back? This has been a long drive, easily the longest drive of the game, which is exactly what Yorktown wanted, to just churn up the third quarter, as much time of possession as they could. That's really the only category they're worried about right now is time of possession.
Zanders wants it just because he's a competitor. If Washington Lee is to come back and win the game, he wants the ball in his own hands. Here comes the field goal. Long field goal attempt. 41-yard kick. No good. Wide right. Just missed, Pete. Just missed. A 41-yard attempt.
Had plenty of distance. Wasn't accurate, but had plenty of distance. Very impressive for a high school kicker to boot it 41 yards with plenty of distance.
So the Generals will take over.
Sort of unusual that a team that can't convert the extra points is going for a 41-yard field goal and almost makes it.
Which was close. Yes, first and 10
that's
from
high
their
school
own
football
25.
for you.
And Pete, Teddy Key is in, and he gives the ball to Zanders, who barrels his way for about 5 to 6 yards.
If anyone has an answer as to why Teddy Key's playing over Andrew Craver, you call the Channel 33 stations on Monday and leave a message for me, because I can't figure it out. You got one kid who's thrown 3 touchdown passes, another kid who hasn't, I don't think, completed a pass, maybe 1 or 2 at the most, and nothing against him, but he's just not getting the job done the way Andrew Craver is.
Teddy Key looking things over. And the give to Zanders. Oh, nothing doing for Sam Zanders. Patriots all over the place.
Tackle made by Sean Edwards.
Sean Edwards, one of them, on the tackle.
Loss of 3 yards.
22 seconds to go, third quarter. Down to 10 seconds and counting. Last play of the third quarter. Teddy Key with the fake, rolls out, goes long to Blake Schaefer, incomplete.
Pass incomplete.
That is the end
That's the end of the third quarter.
of the third quarter with the score, Yorktown 30, Washington Lee 21.
So the lead is 9, not insurmountable by any means, but with Washington Lee, the way the teams are playing right now, Washington Lee is certainly in a hole. They don't have the momentum they once had. Yorktown drove the length of the field. They didn't score, but they took up most of the third quarter with a long, long drive. And Washington Lee, they used to have the momentum, I think, after the last touchdown, but right now, the wind's out of their sails a little bit. They got to get something started.
Hate to beat a drum here, beat an old drum, Pete. But you bring up the point once again, we might as well bring it up. Andrew Craver did not play in that last series, that last possession for the Generals, so that has something to do with it. When he's there, they're up. When he plays, that team seems to move down the field. Teddy Key, however, at least tonight, is not having a time of it. He's having a hard time of it. And he's, still in, and it's it is now a 4th down situation for Washington Lee. Solander checks in. Patriots up by 9. And Teddy Key is now going to punt. Alex Evelyn deep to receive, along with Ken Handy. Teddy Key with a high punt. Evelyn lets it take a bounce. He picks it up at about the 43-yard line and goes nowhere, driven out of bounds. Chad Sweezy down. Not good for Washington Lee, their primary receiver.
Sweezy's done a good job on both sides of the ball this evening. Very, very tough tackler. There you see the stands. Very excited stands for Yorktown. Everybody's yelling and screaming. Got the band out. You got the kids with their dates. You got others trying to find a date. You got the girl in the front with the streamers from New Year's Eve, going crazy in the stands at Greenbrier Stadium. Afshin, what do you think so far? 30-21, 11:50 remaining. Washington Lee, if they win, they're in the playoffs. If they lose,
Yorktown has a chance.
They're at home.
Yes.
That's it.
They're at home for Thanksgiving.
It's the end of that's the end of their season. And right now they're down 9, under 12 minutes in the fourth quarter.
Generals can't keep that momentum that they have gotten every now and then throughout the course of the game. And one reason, Pete, to beat Old Drum again, is because of the switching of the quarterbacks. Taking nothing away from Teddy Key. It's just that tonight Andrew Craver is the man.
Three touchdown passes in a limited role at quarterback for Andrew Craver. One of the quarterbacks used by Washington Lee.
11:45 and counting. Deppenbrock has Handy to the near side. The give to Deach. Finds a big hole up the middle. He's off to the races. Matt Deach is gone. Touchdown, Yorktown. That about did it, Pete.
Every nail is now solidly planted in the coffin. Let's go to a replay and watch as Washington and Lee's season is just about complete. With 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter, Matthew Deach. That'll be a name that the Yorktown Patriots and the Washington Lee fans will remember for some time. Just stolen the spotlight from Pat Deppenbrock, the quarterback at Yorktown, is Matthew Deach on a long, long jaunt for a touchdown.
56-yard run for Matt Deach.
To make the score 36-21 with 11:22 left in the fourth period.
Field goal up and in. 37-21. Yorktown. 16-point lead. What works for the Generals? 2 touchdowns along with successful 2-point conversions, and they're back in it. There's only 11 minutes, 22 seconds to go. Is that enough time? We'll find out.
So quite a game for the senior night here at Greenbrier Stadium. 37 points for Yorktown and 21 for Washington Lee. Knew it would be high scoring, but easily could have been 21-10. Who would have thunk it would be 37-21 with over 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
There is still time for the Generals. Jamie Durnell to kick off for Yorktown. Deep, of course, Sam Zanders and Dan Solander. I don't know where Chad Sweezy is. I do not see him on the sidelines.
For the first time, you see Washington Lee has both receivers lining up in tandem behind one another, and then they split. So they really don't know where Sam Zanders is now.
Solander from near his goal line brings it out. He's got a lot of running room to the near side, cuts back out. He's off to the races. Solander to the 40, 45, down and out at about the 47-yard line.
Let's go to a replay on that, Afshin. Watch Solander take the ball in and head down the right side of the field. Unsure what to do at the start of the run. Now he's very sure what he's going to do. It's only touched one time.
And he's down. Washington Lee with good field position at their own 47-yard line. 10:53 to go in the game, or at least in the fourth quarter. Zanders and Barquero in the backfield. Craver with the handoff to Blake Schaefer on his feet, gets tripped up, crosses midfield. Close to a first down, probably got it. Nice run by Blake Schaefer there. 10:40 to go, fourth quarter.
Blake Schaefer was tough to bring down that time. Hopefully we'll get that on a replay, but he was not wrestled down until 2 or 3 Yorktown players met him. There you see the second effort.
Solander to the near side, David Chu to the far side. With the twist, Zanders in the backfield. Of course, his running mate this time, Everett Daly, not Willie Barquero. Chad Sweezy, I did spot him along the sidelines. He looks okay. He's getting a little help from the trainer. He's running up and down the field. There's your offside penalty. 5 yards on that. So instead of a 2nd and 1, it should be a 2nd and 6 for the Generals from the Yorktown 47. Andrew Craver in. Craver with the fake pitch. Goes downfield to Blake Schaefer. What a catch. Schaefer out of bounds. Complete to Blake Schaefer for the first down. Beautiful catch.
Go to a replay on this. Great catch. Could be the catch of the evening. Craver hooks up. See the diving. Blake Schaefer hauling it in.
Beautiful concentration on the part of Blake Schaefer.
Would have been
First
good
and 10.
Would have been good in any league, high school, college, or the pros. He's conscious enough to keep 2 feet inbounds.
Craver to Chad Sweezy. He's got a lot of running room, blocking for David Chu in front of him. Sweezy may go all the way. Touchdown, Washington Lee. And Sweezy is hurt again. Sweezy is laying on his stomach.
Sweezy, easily the captain of the all-guts team. Injured earlier in the game. Comes in, catches a screen pass, and goes all the way. Touchdown, Chad Sweezy.
Sweezy still down. Sweezy was hurt prior to that play. On a kickoff, I think it was. And sat out for a few plays, came back. That hitch and run, scored the touchdown. Untouched, by the way, and he was hurt somewhere along his, I think it was his right leg.
And now that Andrew Craver has thrown 4 touchdown passes, we wonder once again if they'll stick with him for the rest of the evening. What more does he have to do, Afshin?
37-27 is the score. Washington Lee probably will go for the 2-point conversion. We're going to take a break. Yorktown up by 10.
Channel 33. It's not just TV. It's an...
We are back. Washington Lee attempting the two-point conversion failed. Andrew Craver overthrew David Chu in the corner of the end zone. So it is still a 10-point ball game with 10 minutes, 4 seconds to go, fourth quarter. Yorktown up on Washington Lee. Pete, the Generals have this never say die attitude. They're hanging in there.
I think their offense has done a good job of it. I think the never say I die attitude's got to transfer to the defensive side of things, because Yorktown has had an easy time, though, churning up the clock and just driving down the field, whether they score or not. The one time they took the long drive for the majority of the third quarter and they didn't come up with a score, so that did hurt, but they just ate up the clock, and Washington Lee can ill afford to use up any more time right now on defense.
The squib kick. Picked up by Alex Evelyn. On his feet. A lot of running, you know. Stumbling, mumbling, rumbling there.
A hop, skip, and a trip down to about the, what is that, about the 33-yard line? Maybe less.
Ball is spotted at the 32-yard line.
Ball on the 32-yard line.
Now Deppenbrock has his work cut out for him in the fourth quarter. 9:45 to go.
17, West Potomac 14.
There you have a final score. Robert E. Lee 17, West Potomac 14. Does that help the Yorktown Patriots or what? Deppenbrock with the give to Crenshaw. One-on-one tackling there. So Lee over West Potomac 17-14. If I'm a Yorktown Patriot, I say 1 down and 1 to go.
Well,
with 9:15 to go in the fourth quarter.
1 down and 2 to go, really. This
Actually,
game
you're right, 2 to go.
Not necessarily in the bag yet, but Yorktown is clearly in control at this point at the 9-minute mark, 37-27, and they are behind the capable hands of Pat Deppenbrock at quarterback. There you see him, done a good job all evening leading the troops, and I don't think he's going to get rattled anytime soon. But we're waiting for the Annandale score is the real key. Annandale has to win this evening for the Patriots to go to the playoffs.
Deppenbrock with the give. Washington Lee stopping the Patriots for no gain there. So this will bring up a 3rd and long situation for the Patriots. One of the few 3rd and long situations they've had tonight. 3rd and 7, we'll call it. Andrew Craver, if you're an amateur lip reader, you know what he said there. We'll leave that one alone.
His one chance with his helmet off, and the camera on him, he didn't say hi, Mom.
3rd and 7 from the 35. 8:05 to go, fourth quarter. Deppenbrock looking, complete to Ken Handy. He's going to be close to a first down. They may mark this one.
Ken Handy, watch at the end of this play, served as a human pinball, bouncing in between tacklers, finally going down. But that's the time you get hurt, actually, is when you're struggling for the extra yardage and everyone's taking their last pop shot, last season hits. I guess we'll skip the replay. You see Pat Deppenbrock. Oh, there we do go to the replay, as promised.
Crisp pass there, Pete.
Watch him get hit here.
Beautiful.
Boom, boom. Sound effects courtesy of me in the booth.
Deppenbrock rolling out. Has a lot of blockers in front of him. Going deep. Up for grabs. Picked off. No. Incomplete. Intended for Chris Bell.
Tough pass by Deppenbrock. Rolling out. Has to set his feet. Little confusion in the backfield. Finally sets his feet and lets the ball fly. And there you see the arm of Deppenbrock. A nice tight spiral. 2 players almost came down with that. Unfortunately, one of them was from Washington Lee.
Jason Hutchinson on the coverage. 7:18 to go, fourth quarter. 37-27, Yorktown up on Washington Lee from Greenbrier Stadium. Afshin Banab and Peter Farnsworth with you. Steppenbrock with the give. Nothing doing there for Clint Crenshaw. 7-10 and counting.
Crenshaw will wake up with some bruises tomorrow courtesy of those hits. He was met by several different Washington Lee players. You see the Washington Lee sideline trying to get something going. Still down 10 points at the 6:50 mark, the fourth period.
Third and about 10. Steppenbrock with Crenshaw and Deitch in the backfield. He's looking for Ken Handy, overthrew him. Ken Handy actually slipped on the play. So it's a fourth down situation. Yorktown will punt with 6:29 to go. 6 minutes, 29 seconds to go. Fourth quarter. Washington Lee in desperate situations right now. Chad Sweezy back with Dan Solander.
That was a pretty key misfire on third down, and actually Eric Calhoun, number 36, who was playing defensive back that time for Washington Lee, he got very, very lucky because if it wasn't for the slip, the receiver's part, that would have been a clear first down.
Nice punt. Solander calls for the fair catch. The Generals will have to drive 70 yards. 6 minutes, 21 seconds to go, 37-27. So they've got to drive these 70 yards in probably less than, I'd say, 3 minutes. They have to do this in half the time right now.
And who's at quarterback is the question.
Andrew Craver at quarterback, Pete. Barquero in the backfield with Sam Zanders. And the give is to Zanders. Gets one block and he stumbles across the 30. Nothing doing there for Sam Zanders, and he's upset right now.
As you mentioned, Afshin, they have to drive 70 yards, but then they have to turn around and get the ball back as well. So it's not drive 70 yards and go up. It's drive 70 yards.
6 minutes to go.
Drive 70 yards, score 7, hopefully 8 with a 2-point conversion. Cut down the lead. Right now you're down 10, 37-27. Again, 5 minutes and 50 seconds left, so Sam Zanders has to get it done quickly, or Andrew Craver in the air.
Barquero and Zanders in the backfield, and there's the pitch to Zanders. Gets nothing there. Gets nothing. A third and long for the Washington Lee Generals. Sam Zanders is dejected right now. The back of Dan Solander.
As we talked about at the beginning of our telecast, Afshin, it's very difficult when you're Washington Lee and you have a unidimensional offense with Sam Zanders being an outstanding back. However, they've been successful in the air this evening, but really Sam Zanders is the mainstay of the offense. And to come back, you know, the defense, in this case, Yorktown knows what they're going to do every time, virtually every time, is go to Sam Zanders in some shape or form. You want to get the ball in his hands, and sometimes that could be just too much having one man on offense.
Washington Lee with a timeout. Credit Joe Muscat, though, Pete, because he is staying with Sam Zanders. Sam Zanders got him this far, and he's not turning away right now. So credit Muscat for the loyalty to his kids and for using Sam Zanders even when all isn't going well because of the trust and faith he has in his players.
And it paid off with a long, long run for Sam Zanders earlier in the game. Usually he breaks 3 or 4 of those long runs. Tonight, just 1 for over 50 yards.
There is a timeout on the field. 5:04 to go in the fourth quarter. 37-27, Yorktown up. Third and long. Third and about 13 for the Washington Lee Generals. Craver dropping back. Goes to Chad Sweezy. Incomplete. Sweezy had it in his hands and dropped it.
Watch as you see Chad Sweezy went up and he got it and he came down and he didn't have it anymore. He was hit very, very hard there by Ken Handy and just couldn't come down with it that time.
Washington Lee in punt formation right now. They were in punt formation. Andrew Craver sneaks back into the huddle, and they're going to go ahead and go for and call a play here, which is what they should do. 4th and 11, 4:59 to go. You don't punt now. This is it. This is the play for Washington Lee right now. The pitch back to Zanders, the option play, going deep to Chad Sweezy, caught by Sweezy. First down, Washington Lee.
Well,
that ball just floated in the air.
Try to go to
I didn't think it was ever coming down.
Very difficult to see the pass on that replay, but it was difficult to see the pass in the booth as well as it went sky high. And credit Chad Sweezy with unbelievable concentration. That time he had to come back and meet the ball. That's why you see Sam Zanders was not a quarterback, but he got the job done.
Yes.
He threw it up. It was a little wobbly, but it got done. It did reach the awaiting arms.
1st and 10 for the Generals. Andrew Craver going long for David Chu, just a bit overthrown. Second and 10 for the Generals. 4:23 to go. 37-27. Yorktown up by 10. Ball at the Yorktown 29-yard line. And we've got more flags. 4:17 to go, 4th quarter. Bring it back 5 yards. So they lose some of what they got.
Ball's at the 34-yard line.
4:17 remaining. The score again, 37-27 at Greenbrier Stadium. Washington Lee's Andrew Craver steps up to the line, barking out the signals. Sam Zanders, deep tailback. Craver drops back.
Andrew Craver with the fumble. Yorktown recovers. That'll just about do it.
And drops the ball. As you said, Afshin, that will just about do it. Hit from the backside there. And jars the ball loose, does number 74 for Yorktown, Josh Gross. A tough hit there. Jarred the ball loose. Caused the fumble. He'll be a popular man in the halls on Monday.
Tackle was made by Josh Gross on that play because of the fumble.
So the Patriots with the ball. The Generals threatening to cut into this 10-point lead. Andrew Craver with the fumble. 3:45 to go, 4th quarter. And Deppenbrock and company are going to close this one out. Deppenbrock with the good give to Clint Crenshaw. Oh, you got it. If you're Coach Hansen, you tell Crenshaw and company, you tell these guys to hang on to that ball.
3:20 and counting here. 37-27, Washington Lee on the losing end at this point.
Coming up on the 3-minute mark by the time this play starts. And there's the give to midfield. Matt Deach near midfield.
Safe to say it was a pretty emotional night so far for Yorktown and Washington Lee. Not just a great game, but also a great rivalry with playoff implications this evening. And it looks like, depending on what happened at the Annandale game this evening, Yorktown might have been able to, with a win this evening over Washington Lee, if in fact they do pull out the win, they may come up with a with an interesting combination, interesting formula into the playoffs whereby two teams won and they also won. They needed Annandale to win this evening, and we don't know if Annandale has won yet.
We're not sure about that game. And the other game, of course, they needed Lee to win, which they did, 17-14. This game is not over, though. I might have spoken too soon. There's 2:51 to go. It's third and long right now. 37-27, Yorktown.
Thing you have here is that Patriots of Yorktown have gotten conservative, which, with good reason, you want to go to the ground, but when you get too conservative, then the defense can just capitalize. They know exactly what you're going to do, go up the middle with Deach. They can hit those holes before you even hand the ball off.
Third and long for the Patriots. Deppenbrock with the fake, rolls out. He can do anything he wants with it from back here. He's going long. Ken Handy, complete to Handy.
Major league play by Pat Deppenbrock. We'll try to get a replay on that. Major league play. Big time. Pat Deppenbrock showing why he's one of the top quarterbacks in the area this evening. 3rd and 7 from the 49-yard line. Watch him scramble and unload all the way downfield here. Not sure what to do with it, not sure what to do. Well, I'll go long, and I'll hook up with Handy right at the 20-yard line. Nice footwork to stay inside of the line as well by Handy.
Ken Handy playing a handy role for the Yorktown Patriots. Deppenbrock with the give to Matt Deach. Still on his feet.
The Yorktown fans lining up in the end zone, as is the band, to greet their team as they come in with another touchdown, if in fact they are able to. The key to that play, obviously, Deppenbrock's pass was a nice one, but Handy came back for the ball also. So that was something that was smart on his part, something that the coaches try to instill in their players year after year after year, from Pop Warner, from Pee Wee football all the way up to the big leagues, which is high school football in this area.
First and goal from the 7. Deppenbrock, scramble for the ball. Generals have it. They'll take over with 2:27 to go. A muff on the handoff between Deppenbrock and Crenshaw. Or Deach, rather.
So the fat lady is not singing yet.
Not quite. I see her way over in the corner in the far stands, just sitting there. She's not up yet.
She's got her music though. She's warming up.
Andrew Craver looking for Blake Schaefer, or rather for Sam Zanders, who's on his feet, still on his feet, knocks over players near midfield. 2 minutes to go, fourth quarter, 37-27. Yorktown, Zanders with a long run.
Sam Zanders, nice catch and run here. Watch this catch. Nice catch, brings it in, keeps his head up. Nice missed tackle, another missed tackle. Carries 2 players down to the 50.
150 and counting, fourth quarter. Craver back. Up, almost picked off, intended for Blake Schaefer. Almost intercepted. This will be a 2nd and 10 for the Washington Lee Generals. Dan Solander gets his play from one of the coaches. The one good thing about the incompletion, of course, is that it stops the clock. 1:43 to go, fourth quarter, 37-27, Yorktown up by 10. Craver dropping back, being pursued. To Zanders in the flat. He's got blockers in front of him across midfield, 45-40. Still on his feet, down and out at the 35-yard line. First down for the Washington Lee Generals, and they're moving.
Go to the replay. You can feel the desperation on the side of Washington Lee. They're trying to get anything done, anything possible. Sam Zanders leading the way here. Nice run and nice effort to get out of bounds.
1:34, clock stop. Ball at the 35-yard line. 1st and 10. Craver looking for David Chu, complete across the middle, close to the 25-yard line. Washington Lee in their hurry up. A minute 27 rather. As soon as the referee spots the ball, the clock will resume. 1:26, 1:25 and counting. Craver's got a lot of time. In the flat to Sam Zanders. Incomplete. Telegraph that one.
Big night for that man. Andrew Craver has done everything he could to keep his Washington Lee Generals in the contest, as has the star running back, Sam Zanders. Sam Zanders is a name we've heard all season long, though. Andrew Craver has really shown this evening. Alternates with Teddy Key at quarterback for Washington Lee throughout the season. This evening, the coaches were forced to pick one late in the game, and they went with Craver, who's thrown a few touchdown passes already, I think 4 to be exact. Done an excellent job for the visiting Washington Lee Generals, whose playoff hopes rest heavily on his shoulders.
Pete, while I have a chance, I want to run over the Channel 33 programming.
I want to know when politically correct cooking is going to be.
I don't think it's on this time. At 9:30 on Sunday, 9:30 at St. George's program. At 10 it's K-Tal. 10:30 a.m. politics, Landry versus Brown. And it's not Tom versus Larry. At 11 o'clock it's Arlington Skins.
Sports.
At 11:30 a.m. Nuestras Races. At noon, not for seniors only. That means it's for people like you and I.
Gotcha.
At 12:30, the LaRouche Connection. 2 p.m., the 7th Annual Arlington Jazz Festival. I love jazz. 3 p.m., Model Motion. 3:30, Conversando. 4:30, International Hour. 5 p.m., Gay Fairfax. 5:30, 1 in 10 People. 6 p.m., Girl Talk. And we'll continue it after this play. 2nd down and long. Andrew Craver being pursued from the blind side. Unloads it. Blake Schaefer in the middle of everybody. Incomplete. 1:11 to go. Make a wish. 1-1-1.
Andrew Craver got popped in the backfield on that play, and I didn't think he was going to get the power behind that throw, but apparently he just got it off in time before he was hit. And if we get a good look at it, he's sandwiched by 3 different players. Still got the ball off, but it was incomplete. Intended for Schaefer.
Still put a little bit behind that. 1:11 to go. 4th quarter. This is 3rd and 10. Andrew Craver to Zanders, overthrows him. As I was saying, folks, at 6 p.m. it's Girl Talk. 6:30 inside outside the Beltway. 7 p.m. Buenos Noches Peru. 7:30 Vietnamese TV. 8:30 No Dogs or Philosophers Allowed. And at 9:30 p.m. it's Slumber Party, the great programming on Channel 33, Arlington's community television. Fourth and 10, 1:06 to go. 4th and 10 for the Washington Lee Generals. This might be the final play of the game. Craver with the fake to Zanders, who stays back to block. Over the middle, intercepted. Over the middle for Dan Solander, was intercepted. Scott Fletcher with the interception.
Scott Fletcher, the Yorktown ball, 1st and 10 at the 6-yard line.
57 seconds to go. A 10-point Yorktown lead. And depending on what Annandale and on the outcome of the Annandale-Fairfax game, Yorktown could be on its way to the playoffs.
If I'm Andrew Craver, I don't feel too bad. He had an excellent game in my mind. And
no question about that. No question.
Down 10 points with just over a minute to go. Unless you're Doug Flutie, you don't get it done. And with a minute, even Doug Flutie would have had a hard time with it. So Andrew Craver has nothing to be ashamed of.
Oh, yeah.
Neither do any of the Washington League players. They all put their heart into it, played very, very hard this evening.
David Chu, Teddy Key, they all have had a great season. Dan Solander, Andrew Craver, Willie Barquero, all of them. Great season.
Inevitably, we mentioned the same names over and over again, but
yep,
it's a team game and a team effort.
The offensive linemen, the defensive linemen, the linebackers. There's your ball game, folks. Yorktown Patriots 37, the Washington Lee Generals 27. As I said a minute ago, depending on the outcome of the Annandale-Fairfax game, Yorktown could be headed to the playoffs. Robert E. Lee did defeat West Potomac by 3 tonight.
To thank Chris Jerry and everybody else who did excellent job down in the truck, the cameramen with the great pictures and the replays, and we thank everyone, all the people that make this broadcast possible for us. And Afshin, I thank you as well. Last game of the season.
I enjoyed working with you, Pete, as the players are on the field. Good game, good game, good game, good game. It was a great season in Arlington County for the Potomac District. Actually, they probably just say game, game, game now. I'm not sure anymore. But I enjoyed working with you as well. It was a delight.
Likewise. Great season in Arlington, and what a way to cap it with this game this evening. With the Yorktown Patriots coming up victorious, 37-27. And we'll come back to analyze the game for you right after this.
Channel 33. It's not just TV. It's an obsession.
Yeah, I'm going to take mine off, too. Ugh.
There we are back.
We are back.
Greenbrier Stadium. A almost empty Greenbrier Stadium as the Yorktown Patriots march off victoriously off the field all together. And the seniors have to be proud of themselves. The underclassmen as well. They played their hearts out for the seniors. It was senior night here, Greenbrier Stadium. And quite an exceptional way to end the season for the seniors and also for the entire Yorktown team. And we'll have to wait on the score of the Annandale game to see if, in fact, this effort was enough to catapult them into the playoffs.
Exactly. Pete, I was talking to one of the Yorktown people up here in the press booth, and she had called the Annandale-Fairfax. She had called the Fairfax press booth, and she got no response from them. She left their number. She left our number here for the Yorktown press booth. They did not return her call, so she seems to think Fairfax won just off that alone. I don't know, but that's the point here is that Yorktown and Washington Lee played a very good football game tonight. This is a big rival in the Potomac District, and they did not disappoint anyone.
They didn't disappoint anyone, exactly correct. And at this point, however, they have to sit in the locker room, and their playoff hopes lay in the hands of other teams. And one team, Robert E. Lee, came up with a big victory, which they needed. And now whether Annandale did or not, we at this point just do not know. And we see that Washington Lee is huddled at midfield, nothing to be ashamed of. Their best season in 18 years. Quite a success, obviously. And it was very pleasurable working with you, Afshin, and we run the credits and thank everyone
likewise
who was involved, because it was a great season here of high school football in Arlington County and a great way to end it.
Oh, exactly. And it was a great game. And we look forward to seeing these two teams back in the hunt next year, along with the rest of the Potomac District. They'll all be back in the hunt for the playoffs, of course. With that in mind, Pete, it was great working with you. It was great working with the staff at Channel 33. I'm Afshin Banab for Peter Farnsworth. You all take care.
Bye-bye.